Once upon a time, in a small town nestled in the mountains, there was a young couple, Emily and Jack. Emily was a shy and introverted girl who loved books and nature, while Jack was an adventurous and outgoing boy who loved traveling and exploring new places. They met each other at a stargazing event, where they both shared their love for the stars. As they sat under the stars, Emily and Jack started talking about their dreams and aspirations. They both found that they had a lot in common, and the more they talked, the more they felt drawn to each other. Jack invited Emily to take a walk with him, and they wandered into the forest, hand in hand. The moonlight filtered through the trees, casting ethereal shadows across their path. As they walked, Jack shared stories of his travels and adventures, and Emily was mesmerized by his passion and enthusiasm. She couldn't help but feel drawn to his adventurous spirit. Eventually, they found a quiet spot by a stream, and Jack pulled out a blanket for them to sit on. They lay down on the blanket, and Jack pointed out the constellations in the sky, while Emily listened intently. They talked about everything from their favorite books to their deepest fears, and before they knew it, the sun was rising. As the days passed, Emily and Jack became inseparable. They spent all their time together, exploring the town, hiking in the mountains, and stargazing at night. They visited the local bookstore and found that they shared a love for classic literature. They spent afternoons reading aloud to each other and discussing the themes and characters in the books. Emily also introduced Jack to her favorite hiking trails in the mountains. Jack had never been much of a hiker before, but he found that he loved the challenge of climbing to the mountaintops and taking in the sweeping views of the valley below. As they grew closer, Emily and Jack's conversations turned more personal. Emily shared her struggles with anxiety and depression, and Jack listened with compassion and understanding. He opened up about his own struggles with fear and uncertainty on his travels, and they supported each other through their challenges. One night, Jack surprised Emily by setting up a special stargazing setup in a secluded field. As they lay under the stars, he told her that he loved her and that he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her. Emily was overwhelmed with emotions and said yes to his proposal. They stayed up all night, talking about their future together and making plans for their wedding. Emily and Jack were married in a beautiful ceremony in the mountains. They exchanged vows under a canopy of trees, with the sun setting behind them. As they danced under the stars that night, they felt like the only two people in the world. After their wedding, Emily and Jack set off on a journey to explore the world together. They traveled to remote corners of the globe, visiting places that few people had ever seen. They trekked through the rainforests of South America, climbed the Himalayas in Nepal, and sailed through the islands of the South Pacific. Throughout their travels, Emily and Jack kept a journal of their experiences. They wrote about the people they met, the foods they ate, and the sights they saw. They took countless photos of each other, capturing their joy and wonder in each new place. When they returned home, Emily and Jack started a family. They had 2 children, a boy and a girl, and raised them in the same small town where they had fallen in love. They continued to hike in the mountains and stargaze at night, sharing their love for the outdoors with their children. As they settled into their new home, Emily and Jack began to plan their future together. They decided to start a family, and soon enough, Emily was pregnant with their first child. They were thrilled and couldn't wait to welcome their little one into the world. In the meantime, they continued to explore the world together. They went on hiking trips, road trips, and even visited other countries. They always made sure to find a good spot to stargaze and admire the night sky. As their family grew, they passed on their love for adventure and the stars to their children. They would take them on camping trips, show them the constellations, and teach them about the wonders of the world. Emily and Jack's love for each other and for their family only grew stronger with time. As they grew older, they continued to stargaze, but now they did it from the comfort of their own backyard. They would sit outside, wrapped in blankets, and talk about their memories of their adventures together. They would laugh about the mishaps and reminisce about the good times. One night, as they sat under the stars, Jack turned to Emily and said, "You know, when we met, I never imagined we would have a life like this. I never thought I would find someone who loves the stars and adventure as much as I do, and who loves me for who I am." Emily smiled and replied, "I feel the same way. I'm so grateful for every moment we've had together, and I can't imagine spending my life with anyone else." As they held hands and looked up at the stars, they knew that their love would continue to shine just as brightly as the stars above.